Another chapter in the heartbreaking tale of OC has been added to. They will look towards the next round to try and put that right. But before we go anywhere else, we need to wrap up the 0-1 round. And it is an inter-regional matchup. OG Esports taking on Space Station. Starting off stacks. That man right there, Captain Canada.
Yeah, and Father Time himself has not been able to outlast C.A.B, the oldest player here at the World Championship. Oldest team, and of course they would prefer most experienced team at this World Championship. And you know, when this team all came together, which feels like forever ago at this point because it's been such a wild ride for them, you thought there's no way, right? I mean, you couldn't have possibly had a worse start to the season. And then suddenly they put it all together right at just the right moment, and they've persevered up here to the World Championship. And with this much experience, you give them at least a puncher's chance.
And their opponents for this round, Space Station Gaming, came into this event. There was a lot of hope that I was hearing behind the scenes that they would be able to make a splash. Well, yesterday they made a splash, but it was in the wrong sort of fashion. They get a chance today to take on OG and get themselves in the winners column. And they look locked in, ready to go.
Yeah, this is a team that does lock in probably better than most of the other North American teams, other than, you know, say G2. And the consistency that we've seen out of Space Station Gaming coming down the stretch. I mean, it took them some time to put it all together, get the right pieces in place. But once they got there, I mean, Hawkster has been steadily improving through the entire second half of this season. And if he continues that through this World Championship, it's going to spell great things for SSG.
And there's some organizations that you just associate when it comes to Rocket League. You know, you think your Vitalities, your G2s. Space Station, though, has been around for a very long time now, always fielding top-level teams. This is the one that they have brought to this year's World Championship. So hashtag OG or hashtag SSG in the chat for the progressive fan vote. Let us know who you think is moving on. This was one of the more split, I believe, when it came to our predictions overall. I was going to ask you if you who you're going for. I'm going to ask you if you can remember who you went for. We do take our time.
Actually, I'm pretty sure almost everybody went. I don't think it was that split. I know Bates went with OG because
Bates needs OG to win this one.
Bates went with Monstars at this point.
Monstars lost.
They did.
They were pretty useless, to be honest.
But they were the favorites.
0-2.
They are.
So they will be the Monstars, as you can see. You at home, 68% versus 32%. So you are joining us over on the desk. We're believing that SSG are going to be the team to move on. Torment has rallied the troops. They are good to go. To head over to Manfield Night. One of these teams is going to be on the cusp of elimination. A whole year's worth of planning, preparation, and determination might be falling through their fingers. OG look to bounce back. SSG look to move forward. Let's get through to game number 1.
Manfield Night, the backdrop. Iconic as ever for our opening game here as we round out the 0-1s. Game 1, brought to you by Progressive as Space Station Gaming and OG Esports do battle. Yes, 1 foot out the door if you come up short here. The urgency absolutely must be there as we see Naps and Chicago go head-to-head. And if you're a little sentimentalist as I am, it hurts a little bit watching them do battle knowing what's at stake here.
Opposite side of that, though, is just how well these players have done since moving on to keep themselves going, because it's so difficult to stay at the top level of Rocket League. Yes, people can meme around, but the fact that players make it here is unbelievable. The amount of work and effort that goes into that. Com now has to trek back. LJ, he's waiting for the pass, couldn't get to it. Chicago, spotted the danger, got rid of it.
You kind of almost styles here. You know how physical OG can be. They've changed that up just a little bit as the season has gone on. Com has taken on more of an offensive role. He's almost kind of had a virtuoso-esque trajectory where, okay, he's known for his demos, and then he's suddenly all of a sudden he's putting the ball in the back of the net a little more often. And you're like, okay, now we've got another threat we have to deal with. And that served OG very well.
Calm with the opportunity this weekend for his first crowd matches since second time we went to London, just over 2 years ago. Will he be going into it for a very long day on Friday, or can he just cut that down a little bit more? LJ over the top of Nolly. He can keep that one going. There's no more boost available, but in comes Hoxer, and he's going to need a little bit more sauce the next time he takes that.
Going back to talking about Chicago and J.A.B, you know, it was a year ago at Carmine versus the World, KCX3, where they really had the last dance for Chicago Bulls, as they put it. And it's amazing to think a year later, adversaries on the world stage, granted in the Swiss Abyss for now, not out on the main stage, as Chicago will scramble back in time. Now Eldred looking for nothing there.
Not necessarily expecting to score from those, but if you can just get a bad touch from the defender, then you are all in on the offense. J.A.B's passed it reasonably well. Hoxer, nice fake out on the first touch. Well, J.A.B's taking off him. J.A.B's responds in kind by getting rid of his car entirely. Now Nolly pre-jump backboard. LJ's got that scouted quite a while ago.
Waiting for somebody to just blink. I mean, you're going to have it come down to somebody making a pre-jump, somebody taking that first risk. And whether it works out or not, you have to imagine the first goal will come from one side or the other. Dropping it down, and there was nobody in support.
They put a highlight on just how many of these players have played on teams with each other, and we are seeing it in a game like this one, where nobody should buy into the offense. It's not even bad offense. It's just when you've been playing with people all the time, you know what the tendencies are. LJ looking to try and be the wild card. Flip reset to Chicago. And Com gets there. Both teams trying, neither team able to break across the line.
Just waiting for that first high-quality chance. I mean, you've seen the ball get close. No secrets from either of these sides. And this is a game where every game could be a one-goal game. Every game could go to overtime. You could have some healthy overtime series. Or something could just be 1-0. I'm sure you would like that, Shogi.
We will get there. I've already had my heart broken once. Here is Chicago with Hoxer. Again, oh, that's an own goal. Well, we were wondering what it was going to be for the surprise. The surprise is the misread from the defender. Nolly knew he had to get there before Hoxer, but Chicago kept on following it.
That's happened a lot this week already. What a gift for Chicago with a minute to go. Playing his 100th World Championship game. Just gets a gift wrap. And that's how SSG get the opening goal. And if now, of course, can almost sit on that.
J.A.B plays the ball out, and yeah, now Space Station going to be very difficult to break down. 40 seconds. OG have got to find something big. First things first, they've got to get this ball out there inside the field, and the spread of the players isn't favoring them for that. Hoxer trying to style, double commit to try and get to that ball. Good challenge, though, from Com. They needed that. Nolly has some space. Com goes chasing down for boost. Not much coming from this just yet, but small wins for Oxygen, or for OG. Could very well put them in position. Oh, that's massive, though, from Chicago.
Oh. Almost had it there with the pre-flip as well. Down to 10 seconds, though. OG's got to go. Need the ball going the opposite direction it currently is. Down to 3 seconds. Got to get it across. Nolly onto him. No. J.A.B skied up there, and Com's going to have to read this. J.A.B will pressure. Here comes Com. Here's Nolly. It's not going to work out, and SSG off a deflection that goes off Nolly, and you don't really fault him for it. But that's how game one goes to Space Station.
He knew he had to. He knew that the pass was going to happen. The fact that Chicago just followed the ball the entire way was a massive shock to Nolly. So that is one that they are going to have to try and put behind them reasonably quickly. Here you go. Here's one more. Have a look. Nolly, again, realizes it, but Chicago's done it so well just to keep himself on the right side of that. And it is a laser beam.
Well, unlucky for OG in the opener. They do get outshot 11-1. It's hard to say unlucky. I mean, they did not have
did take one shot.
any pressure. Com had the one shot for OG. Otherwise, it was Space Station Gaming. It was almost just OG trying to hang on forever. Yeah. And finally,
I mean, I would take 2 more of those. To be, personally speaking,
of course.
Yeah,
Of course you would.
We'll see. We'll see when we get there.
I mean, if it's a best of 5, is it cheap? Wouldn't you rather have it happen in a best of 7 to have every game go 1-0?
I would take it in a best of 3 stacks. I don't care, okay? Give me the 1-0, give me a 1-0, and you know what? To top it off a good measure, give me a 1-0. But I'll only go biased for that if this one ends up being a 1-0 for Space Station. Before then, I'm unbiased. I'm now biased. I'm sorry, everybody at home. This is maybe the worst timing for it possible.
Opening kickoff, 4 seconds in. And J-Naps just got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. LJ goes right over top of him. And it is Space Station Gaming. So what does that amount to? 2 goals in 1 minute and 4 seconds? And both to take a lead.
Yeah, but only 1 more goal for the next 14 minutes 53, I reckon.
I don't know about that. The way SSG might be heating up.
I'm expecting an OT in there as well, just to really make me sweat.
Does it really count if it goes to overtime?
Yeah, because if the next one goes to OT, I need OG not to win it.
Well, right now, OG would love to get 1 to the good, just to get on the board. Had that one go in off of Nolly. Love for him to get one into the proper net, just to get his confidence up a little bit. Never seems to be lacking for confidence, to be fair. Got that pass over towards J-Nap, so he's getting chased down. So instead, he goes headhunting, and everybody just comes up empty. Finally, Con will just take a shot. It's just off the mark, but he has an open net, and he'll clean up the mess himself.
Well, I'll worry about that stuff later on. For now, Space Station needs to wonder how on earth they got bamboozled by the post. Hits it. The magic trick puts it away from them. 1-1. OG, with only their 2nd shot of the series, have got it all tied back up.
Well, welcome to the series, OG Esports. Now it's game on. Hoxer trying to factor into this play. Got it back towards Chicago, but he's knocked up into the sky. Now LJ, flip reset to set up Hoxer, and it's blocked out.
Space Station are looking like they're getting more and more confident here. Realize that not only might they have to pre-jump in order to outpace OG on defense, but they actually feel pretty happy to. Hoxer a little bit too close. Chicago will be unchallenged for all of this. You can really see Hoxer loitering towards that backboard. He did this earlier on with 0 boost. Imagine what he can do with a little bit more than that. But all the offense throughout this series has been Space Station. They now need to find the goals to go with it. You would imagine the player that we just saw on that ball, LJ, will be the one to provide the opportunities. Oh, that is such a harsh bounce. Up goes Hoxer. Com there just in time.
What can Chicago do here? He might try to take that himself, but not given any quarter at all. OG very quickly onto him. You can see the pace just picking up a little bit now from both these squads. Of course, you really like to see that just as a fan of the game. Because listen, 1-0's exciting. 2-1, okay, it's exciting. Give me like a 5-4 game in there somewhere. Give me some old-fashioned Sam Rocket League.
Oh, he's going to try and at least play it down to a teammate. OG are very hesitant to pull the trigger. They don't want to ever send that 2nd player forward unless they know they've got that big win. Unfortunately for them, they just haven't had that yet. I feel like it is a little bit hopeful to expect that they will. Gonna have to take some risks. Com treks back yet again with Chicago for company. That pops out to LJ, whose touch he's made it very difficult to follow up on, even more so now that he has lost his car. J-Naps with Com far side. If I've spotted him, you already know the Space Station has spotted him. And that's just a little bit of my worry here. The ideas are there, but the ideas are lingering for that's a lot quicker. And that time, Space Station couldn't react, just about unable to get to that ball in time.
Now watch out on the counterattack. Now Hoxer have this waterfall down, but swept out by Com. There is more confidence on the side of SSG, and for good reasons. That shot's gone wide, so yeah, great timing. Shot on here is going to get through, and Hoxter will break the tie. A team that is 2-1 against OG in the second half of the season now has a 2-1 lead on them.
Yeah, Com's the only one with boost, so he's got to get something on that play. Ended up just chasing the ball around. Out of position by the end, and Space Station 2-1 to the better. Well, this might be a nice position for them to go to. JNAPS has got boost, pops the ball up high, and Com has outpaced them. They've gone for it, and Hoxer just lands on the ball. Now trying to counterattack. Flicks the ball long. Com goes up. Couldn't get the pinch against the backboard. That would have helped out a lot. But they have players in the right positions. And OG, their positioning is so good. I feel like their positioning is for like a couple of paces faster than their play has actually been.
Come up on the final minute. It's got to speed up now for OG. Somebody's got to take a chance. Somebody's got to have a little confidence in their teammates' ability to win a 50. Hoxer had support from LJ behind him.
What a stop.
Coming up, boy. SSG went all in with a lead, and they're lucky that JNAV pushed that wide because nobody was going to get back for that. Space Station played that exchange at midfield like they were down a goal.
And OG will wonder how on earth they have not got this back to 2 each. You're not going to get many more opportunities like that. 30 seconds on the clock. JNAPS with Com to his left-hand side. Chicago spots it, gets there. Hoxer now back up. Nolly is going to try and wait for his opportunity. Hoxer is not going to make it all that comfortable to pick up on. Com waiting midfield. 10 seconds on the clock. Ceiling for the pinch. Couldn't get there. LJ takes control.
Final countdown, OG's got to move, and that little flip over Nolly is going to make things real tough for OG. Pass, oh, no shot at all, and Space Station survives another 1-goal game.
Twice. If there was any boost for Chicago, for JNAPS, they would have scored twice. But it has not been the case because Space Station games are dominating the boost across the field, and it made the difference.
Unreal. I mean, you have to have a short-term memory in this sport, lest you just get bogged down by what might have been. But LJ hits the open net, and OG does not, and you just wonder, my gosh, what might have been after Com had the equalizer. And then you give up this one, where Hoxer's able to thread the needle. And we're probably not going to see the opportunity that got away from JNAPS at the end. But to see SSG just diving at midfield like they were down 2 or 3 goals with a lead late.
I mean, both of these teams are really struggling to outplay one another. There's been I would definitely say Space Station been the faster of the teams. They've had the better of those exchanges, but there's not been a big where you're like, okay, utterly destroyed the defense and got the goal in. This has all been about moments. And when Space Station get their moments, they score them. When OG get their moments, it goes horribly wrong. And it has to change, and it has to change right now.
Well, far be it from me to criticize anybody for missing an empty net. Just put a pin in that. You'll understand what I mean by the end of the week. But man, it's gonna haunt OG if they can't come back here. Now they must win 3 in a row to fend off SSG. I mean, hey, listen, going down to 0-2, it's not an immediate death sentence when you look at what's going to be waiting for you in the 3rd round. But you do have a day to kind of stew on it for a bit. And then think about what would be coming in what's likely to be a 4th round.
Oh,
that one down in front. Hoxer's there. Space Station's up 1.
OG really could do about this being 0-3. I'm not necessarily the person to talk to when it comes to seeding, but you want to be towards that top side of the seeding. You want to be the best of those teams in the 0s-2s at the very least. Get yourself easier matchups in the future. Allow yourself to make that run on Friday.
Well, the last thing you want to do is just be a team that looks wounded going into those 0-2 matches, because the last thing you want to give a team like Limitless or Gladiators,
especially Pioneers at the moment.
Yeah, and Pioneers, the way they're going, is any amount of confidence at all.
Pioneers not able to get across the line earlier on, but you don't want to be running into them. LJ looking for the bump. Nolly can't get there. Post is going to help them out, but only for so long. Hoxer makes it 2.
5 goals for SSG in the series, and Hoxer's got 3 of them. Far down ski, and it just got across the line before C.A.B could get there. And SSG starting to roll now. And again, with OG having only scored the 1 goal so far in this series, this looks insurmountable. And a clever kickoff from SSG. Can Chicago line it up? No way.
They usually want a step extra on that one. Oh, good touch. LJ had his wits about him to try and get back when he did. That's the follow-up after the fact. It is taking all the sizzle out of this steak. Good challenge there from C.A.B. Get the feeling that they need to do this with a decent chunk of time remaining. You don't want to leave getting this first goal for a minute left. JNAPS on the turn. Seems like a puppet on strings at the moment from some of these passing plays from Space Station. In field, Nolly powers it backboard. There's the miss from LJ. C.A.B drops it to Nolly. Will he play it back? Yes, he will. And again! It's always the pass, and it's been to the same player. They can't finish it off.
How does it happen several times in a row? Are they going to get punished for it? No, that one's saved away off of LJ. And now Nolly back the other way, but yeah, the passing just has not connected. That shot saved away from OG. Have been oh so close, but this is Rocket League and not horseshoes. It's not good enough. Another infield pass. That one connected, but JNAPS hit the crossbar. And OG have been just a tiny bit off, and it's just enough to keep them off the scoreboard.
Oh, the bounce as well. Completely flummoxed Nolly. Gonna still be in position, actually. Couldn't get there in time. LJ on the breakaway to try and put this series away. Just couldn't get enough power on it. 2 minutes on the clock. Play to the far side. Nolly on the chase. Plays for the boost. Now they're gonna follow. Shot underneath, through the legs. Chicago can't get there.
Got a little help as well, as JNAPS finally just lines one up. Chicago jumping, anticipating where it's going. Well placed by Uncle Naps. Only the 2nd goal for OG in the series. They need another to at least get themselves in position for overtime.
Oh, here comes Hoxer, looking to try and re-establish. He almost found the bump, but they've got players hitting the post. Next one up, Nolly gets there in time to a C.A.B that was just landing on it. Any different timing, that one could have just been on target entirely. JNAPS was pre-jump. Okay, well, I'm not going to question that one too much, because now you've got to get back all the way to your net. You can't afford to let another one go in here, OG, or it might be too much work.
Well, that's another one where ball gets away from SSG just a little bit. A little fortunate that it was off to the side. Oh, Chicago now has that kick right out in front. LJ tracking.
This is brilliant here from Space Station. Just don't overcommit. Chicago, again, the exact same thing. Just take the ball and don't really play it in a dangerous position. If you can get yourself a goal scoring opportunity, that's lovely. But every air dribble kills so much time off the clock.
The other problem, too, is OG is going to have to make a play, and that means taking a chance. Going in on a play where you might be vulnerable in the back. Nolly tried to force that ball through. JNAPS, fake, shot from C.A.B, slots it bottom right, and we're all tied.
How do you have the confidence to fake that, JNAPS? You're up against the time, you know it's dwindling away, and they still come. I'm leaving it. It's on you. Get us back into this game. OG 2, Space Station 2.
C.A.B has stepped up as a leader over the past several months on this squad, and he has rewarded that confidence. JNAPS on target again, but this time saved out. Those shots are finding the mark now, and Space Station having to work a little extra to keep them out of the net.
Okay, just way a little bit here. But one thing OG have not lacked for in this game, and the last one is opportunities. They need to hit that ball. Oh, C.A.B bails his team out of trouble.
On both ends again, but now here's LJ for the win with 12 seconds.
You don't hit it better than that. You've got C.A.B, you've got Nolly. Put it through the middle of them and put your team back up by 1. 12 seconds. OG, what response do you have?
Do they have anything up their sleeve on the kickoff? Naps will chase it down. He's got plenty in the tank. Nolly underneath. J-Naps headhunting. Here comes Calm, and it's just wide again by the slimmest of margins. And now Calm has to reset. Got it through one. Hit it where they ain't. J-Naps will do all he can. Needs a teammate. He's got Nolly, but now they've got no hope. And Space Station, it's a sweep for SSG.
They got it done in the end. They got the result that they needed. And they might be happy that they got it finished in that game 3 because OG looked like they were starting to figure it out a little bit more.